everyone, I wanted to do a fun video because it's Friday. All right. I've watched this movie a few times before. Actually, I've watched it so much I used to have it on DVD that I broke the DVD. Yeah. Um, but I have a little history with this film because I feel like I kind of grew up with Tia and Tamara Mowry because I used to watch them on Sister Sister. And I like to see what they were going to do when they grew up. And so I've kind of followed their careers. And Tia went into cooking more, and Tamara still acted a few times, but then went into home shows kind of, and you know, so. But one of their, I don't know if they're last, but one of their um, projects together as twins was Double Wedding, and it was filmed in 2010, and it stars the girls as both D. One's Deanna and one's Danielle, but their family called them D. This is important to remember, okay? Because in the film, very early on, we learned that for the 50th wedding anniversary, their grandmother and grandfather are going to have a proper church wedding. However, uh, the grandmother insists that there be no strangers in the wedding pictures. So she says, if you bring a date, he has to be special. If he's special, he's invited. If not, no. So then the girls have a little bet there that each one is going to find a suitable wedding worthy person to bring by June. And they have the challenge since October, November, around Thanksgiving time. So 6 months, 7 months. Okay. Um, okay. So first, Deanna is a lawyer. So they want you to think stereotypical lawyer, no time. So she has to try online dating. Well, she meets what might be the right guy in Tate, but there's no connection because her assistant Jazz, which is short for Jasper, calls her with a fake work emergency to get her out of what he thinks would be a bad date. Turns out it was an okay date, it wasn't a bad date, but they didn't really have enough time to get to know each other because of the phone call it was cut short, right? Okay. So then and also he doesn't know her name really. I mean, Deanna and Law Track is all he knows. So, and she didn't give him the phone number yet. So when he meets the twin, Danielle, Tamara Mowry, he thinks he's met Deanna again. Turns out, no, it's Danielle. And Danielle is a pastry chef, or she wants to own her own bakery, but she's kind of scared to do it on her own. So she hasn't actually opened the bakery yet. But they happen to meet on a Sunday, and she does a bakery, um, she goes to different bakeries in the cities on Sunday. So that's what they do on the date. And then he gets her number, and they start to talk and text every day, ever since then. And and then Deanna kind of blows him off. Well, and then first of all, you have to remember that he thinks that he's talking to the same person. He doesn't understand they're two different women because, as I've told you before, I think that the twins, the Maori twins, are really identical, like down to their freckles. And so, if you saw someone up the street and you saw the woman again, you think you're talking to the same woman. And then, of course, like I said, here's the part where you have to remember where everybody calls him D. So he thinks he's talking to the same person. It takes a long time, and I mean a long time, for him to realize that he's talking to two different women. And it's kind of a funny thing. She, uh, Danielle, is going to have a cake bake off. She's going to be part of a cake bake off in New York. And then, let's see. Um, then Deanna says, "Will you come with me on something for December 17th?" And it turns out to be the same date. Okay. Um, so then what happens is he accidentally runs into a bike messenger, and the bike messenger knocks the phone out of his hand, and he doesn't realize he's talking to two different women still at that point. Okay, so it gets to the point where he figures out, or whatever, that they're two different women. So, because the twins have gotten into a fight with each other about this guy, because they think they're dating the same guy, and and then so they say no, hands off or something. Okay, time out. And Deanna doesn't care because she doesn't like him like that. But Danielle does, and she breaks the rules, quote unquote, and to still see him. Okay, so they decide to go on a date to a club, and like a club where you go to enjoy music and enjoy dancing with your friends, right? Okay, so then Deanna sees them and says, "How dare she? You know how you would get angry, right?" So then she follows them kind of into the club, and she starts dancing with him. And then Danielle's already dancing with him. But once again, he still thinks he's dating one person. Okay. So then they ask him serious questions, like questions you shouldn't ask somebody when you're starting to date them. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" You know? And then he says, and then he backs up, and literally you can see the two women. And he's like, "You guys are playing me? You guys, do you do this all the time?" And they're like, "No, no, we never do it." And then Danielle is really hurt. So then what finally happens is Deanna goes to his house and talks him into coming to the taping for the cake off. So then after they get together. And meanwhile, she finally figures out that she's in love with her assistant because apparently she has this rule that she don't want to date coworkers. So, and then it just so happened that, I don't know, near the end of the film, he declares he put in his resignation, so technically they don't work together anymore. Then, as they would say these days, he shoots a shot, but then she says, "I don't want to date someone I'm working with." And then, um, but then she thinks about it and she starts crying or something because she realizes he's going to go away finally. And then they get together after that. So then the final scene is you're supposed to believe that a lot of time has elapsed since whatever to June, like 6 months, give or take, right? So then they say June, and then they show the grandmother and the grandfather come out first. And they said, and then you know how in the back of the car they usually have either tin cans or something or a sign that says just married. So they say just married again. Then after that car goes, another car pulls up and it says just married. Then you see Tamara come out with the guy Tate, Danielle and Tate, right? Okay. Then after that car goes, you see another vintage car, and you know it's for Deanna or Tia, and they go in a vintage car. So the moral of the story or the ending is they all three get married on the same day. But if you're watching it the first time, I mean, I just told you what happened, but if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that. So it's a real shock. It kind of is and it's not, you know what I mean? But it's cute. Like, it's one of the few romantic movies I actually buy the plot of and stuff. Yes, there are little holes in it and stuff like that, but I don't know. I've gotten to the point where if something's cheesy and it's not too cheesy, I don't mind it. I just don't like the ones that I know what exactly is going to happen in the first 5 minutes and there's nothing left. Like, I'm like, okay, they're going to end up together. And this one has a little bit of a twist, you know? So, I like it. Um, if that's your kind of thing, check it out. It's good for wedding season, or even if it's not the wedding season, it'll give you ideas. That's also why I watch wedding movies, to get ideas for dresses, because usually they have the current style in. So, all right, bye everybody.